Hi everyone, it's Catherine here at Cat V Stitches. Welcome to my YouTube channel all about cross stitch. Hi! So today I thought I would do something a little different. Well, not just today, because I think this is going to take a couple of days in which to do this, but I have a finish. I have finished my okay, let me clarify. I have 99.9% finished my Cricket Collection Sleepy Hollow. I've actually forgotten to do a little bit of back stitching in these church windows here, but that'll take me 10 minutes. But apart from that, I have finally finished this bad boy. This is one of my first non-Hayed whips, and I just dug deep over the last week or so and got this one done. And I am actually going to finish it similar to how it's done here, as a trifold, if you like. So I thought I would take you along for the ride. Now, I am in no way, shape or form a professional at this, or even a gifted amateur at this. There are people like Helen D and Vorna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, who have amazing tutorials on how to do these. So you may be wondering, why, Catherine? Why are you going to do a little tutorial on this? Well, because it's not going to be a tutorial. It's going to be a bit of fun that you can laugh along with me as I struggle and swear and basically want to chuck things out the window as I try to finish this. So basically my standard procedure for whenever I'm finishing any of my cross stitch work. And like I said, I thought I'd take you along for the ride. So this is not a future thing where I've already done it and I'm, had my nervous breakdown as a result and I'm just reporting back. This is actually at the start, well, almost the start. I'll explain that in a second. But like I said, I am going to do it in this fashion. I have, let me show you. Oops, I have the centre one. Now, this is what I mean about it's not quite at the start. So I did this last night. I got this on, it's on foam board that I just get from Hobbycraft here in the UK. And I lace it up at the back. And one thing I am pretty pleased of nowadays is my lacing technique. Sorry, that's the cat. It's greatly improved over the year or so I've been doing these. But I have done this and I've measured it out. So from this road here, so sorry, let me give you a little bit more. Let's go back a little bit more. In the pattern, they do give you some basic instructions on how to do it as the trifold here. So this is actually for 30 count and I've done mine on 28 count, but the measurements are pretty similar. So they say from the road, which is this here, to have 3 inches, and then from above the road 7 inches. So I very carefully measured out 3 inches and 7 inches, so that, and it's bigger than I expected. So this is going to be a rather large trifold or flatfold, however you want to say it. But yes, I know it is going to be very large. It is going to be very large. But that's the first one, and like I said, I've laced that, so that's done. I have my other two here. So we've got the church, which still just needs the back stitch doing, and we have the house with all the pumpkins. Oh, that's the wrong way. So what I'm going to do tonight is the back stitch, and I'm going to make a start on lacing this one up. But what I will do is when I am lacing this up, I'll take you along for the ride on this so you get to see the highlights. So I won't bore you to death by the stitching on this, but I will bore you a little bit with the lacing up of this one, just so I can show you how I do it. And the reason, like I said, is I think I'm doing this because every now and then I do get questions about how I finish these and what I do, especially with my flat folds, because I've done this one that I was immensely proud of. So I thought I'd just show you as a non-gifted amateur how I do it. So maybe people out there who aren't confident finishing and who watch these tutorials and are still a little bit leery about doing them, maybe if you watch me doing it, somebody who is completely not gifted in this department, who has absolutely no patience for it and is only doing it herself because she's so tight that she won't pay for somebody else to do it, it will give you a bit more confidence to try it. So, you know, or it'll be amusing for you to watch somebody make mistake after mistake. And yeah, so that's what I thought I'd do. I thought I'd, like I say, take you along for the ride. And I'll try not to repeat myself every time the video starts, and I'll try to make this as short and as entertaining a process as I can. And to that end, I've already done the majority of my cutting out, my foam board and my cards. I have my backing material here, which is this lovely felt. As you can see, it goes quite nicely, although it goes quite nicely with this. So all this ready, and I'm just going to do it in the evenings when I finish work, and so hopefully by the end we'll have something that's moderately well finished and looks nice on with my other finishes. So I'll see you in the next one. I just thought I would give a little tip here from a newbie beginner who agonises over getting things straight when you're lacing things up. What I've found is if you've got a piece where there's a definite straight line, what you can do is measure off it. So on this one I have measured off 3 inches. And then I've taken a thread here, just a very thin thread, and run it across the weave. So this, doesn't look very straight at the moment, but it is. It's just the way the material is on this ironing board. That gives me a nice straight line for when I am putting this on my backing board and I'm lacing it up. Now for this particular one, it's going to be a bit easy because this is going to be the edge here. So if I didn't have that, however, I would do the exact same this side. I would just measure it out, and then it's just a quick running stitch along, and it just makes it so much easier. I did this for the first board that I showed a few seconds ago, and it came out really well, so I was really happy with that. And I'd done it on a previous piece as well, but I'm doing it again here because it just makes it that little bit easier. And then when you finish, you just quickly pull it out. It's not knotted or anything, it's just a quick pull out, and what it does is just gives you a little help if you're trying to get things straight. So that is tip number 1 when lacing up. I want to share something with you. I want to share something real because, you know, I'm all about real life and everything and keeping it real. Oh, there's the dog, so ignore the mess. I allow her to have this mess for a little bit and then it all gets tidied away. It keeps her nice and quiet when I'm doing something. But yeah, so I'm here merrily lacing away. Look at that beautifully neat lacing job. It's all on the guideline and everything. I'm sorry about the picture here, it's a bit dark, so I think it's struggling to gain focus. But anyway, done this beautiful lacing up job. Very proud. It's taken me 15 minutes to do. Brilliant. So I go to flip it over to get everything straight. And are you ready for this? Wrong side of the stitching. Yes, this is why you should not do this at 9:30 at night when you've had a really, really busy, knackering day at work. Isn't that right, Poochie? Poochie? Yes, that's right, isn't it? So, yeah. Beautiful stitching, inside out. See you later. The dog has deserted me, and what I have done is I have scooted this out, flipped it the other way round, and then scooted it back in, and I'm going to see if I can lace this up without having to unlace it and redo it. So it only took me a few minutes to do this, so fingers crossed it works. I will report back soon. I leave my seat for 30 seconds just to grab some more thread for the lacing, and this is what happens. She steals my spot. That's my stitchy seat there. There's my... I'll give her 1 minute while I get a drink, and then she's going to have to move because I need the light. But this is what happens. Hello, gorgeous. Okay, so I think I've fixed it. Ignore the dog in the background. I flipped it over. I've relaced it up. Just need to tighten it a little bit. I've got it to match up. So now I just need to tighten it up and lace it going the other direction. And I think I might have salvaged this and I might get this done tonight. I am not going to do the other one, the other panel. I'm going to leave that, and I might take you on a more detailed journey of me lacing up that one. But this one is almost done. And my little guide here worked brilliantly. I just need to pull this down a little bit there. But it really does help doing that, especially when you have this the right way round. But anyway, yes, so that is the second panel halfway done. Another quick, well, I don't know if I can call it tip, but a quick thing that I find when I'm lacing that you may find helpful is I like to lace this way, so I'm going up and down in this direction. I just find it easier as opposed to doing it across this way. Don't know why, but I just do find it a lot easier doing it that way, and you may too. So yeah, I've tightened this up now, so I'm just about to get started lacing this way. I will report back. So another quick thing. Again, I'm hesitating to say tip. It's just something that I do when I'm stitching. As someone who finds that I have to do a lot of adjusting once I've done this initial lace, is I try not to do this too tightly at first. I'll come in at an angle on the sides here, so they're not running straight along. Basically, I do that so it doesn't show as much when I've actually glued this to the backboard. But this is how Vorna Pfeiffer said to do it, so I'm doing it that way. Oh, sorry, there is another person. I did actually mean to say this earlier on. When it comes to stitching, the very first video I watched about stitching was Lindy Stitches did a great tutorial on how to lace up your finishes. So I would recommend you watching that as well, because that's who I originally watched, and it was a great tutorial. So anyway, yeah, I do it quite loose first of all, so that I can do a lot of manoeuvring and adjusting to get it straight. to be honest, I can never get it perfect, but I find doing it this way just helps with the adjustment, because the first couple I did, I'd lace it up and I found that either I wasn't thinking about it or I was a bit too confident and I was lacing it pretty tightly. And it was a murder to adjust. So, you know, you'd have to come back and loosen it up, and then it was just taking a lot longer than it needed to. So what I do is it's quite loose, but it's enough that I can easily manoeuvre it when it comes time to adjust. So that's just another quick thing to bear in mind when you're lacing up. And I have finished the lacing, well, the initial round of lacing. I've now got to do all my manoeuvring, but if I turn this over, excuse me, there we go. That doesn't look too bad. Obviously it needs tightening up, but if I quickly do this, bear with me. I've taken my glasses off so I can't see a damn thing. So if I get my tape measure out here, put this to the bottom there, you can see that's 3 inches. And then I move it up here, again to the bottom and to there, and it needs to go, there we go, 3 inches, so that's all straight down there. Sorry, didn't mean to jiggle you about there. Now I do need to adjust this a little bit, because this just needs to be down a little bit further. Oh no, actually. No, it does need pulling across just a little bit. But other than that, that is not too bad. Okay, I'll do my final adjustments and I will tighten this up on the back and then I'll show you what it looks like. It is done. Laced up, and yep, I am happy with that. There we go. Yes, the red lacing there is done wrong, but managed to salvage it in the end, and I'm happy with the positioning of that. So now I just need to do the other side and then put this all together. But I have, however, a sneaky... Now, this is what I say when I describe myself as just like an enthusiastic amateur, because I have a sneaking suspicion that when I was actually using the rotary cutter to cut this, it may have moved slightly, and these are not exactly straight, even though I tried my damned hardest to make them straight. So I may have to do some repair work with the... I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but look, I'm just going to do my best, see what it turns out like. I mean, just so long as I'm happy. I mean, this is not going, on a show anywhere, or, it's not going to be in a museum somewhere for everybody to see. It's just so long as I'm happy with it. But I'm happy with it so far. I don't think they're perfectly straight. We'll have to see how this turns out. But it's an adventure. It's an adventure. That's all that matters. So I'll see you in the next one. I thought I'd see if I could show how I do my lacing. Now, I'm not going to show all of it because that would be incredibly boring, but some of it. And again, disclaimer, not an expert. As my previous clip will probably have shown, I am most definitely not an expert, but I am going to try and get it right today. So this is the next day. It's 5:30. I'm kind of taking a quick break from work to do this because work has just been driving me insane today. So I thought, you know what, I'll give this a go. I have measured out my line here, so I've gone, pardon me, 3 inches from the road to our, down to the bottom there, to this red lace here, and then just done it across. And this is the line that I'm going to be following. So if I show you on these two that I've done so far, there we go. So now these aren't perfect. It turns out this is a tiny little bit bigger than that, but I'm not going to start it all again now. We're just going to make it work. But these two, sorry, have been done, have been laced up. Now I probably lace a little bit more than other people might do, but I just find that this works for me to get a nice even result. So let's get started. So this time I'm going to make sure I put it upside down. This goes on there. So it needs to be lined up to that side, and it needs to be lined up approximately to the bottom. We can do fine adjustments later, but that is how I'm starting. I have these are just a hemline darner's hand needle, and I use, it's actually from when I was making my bracelets. I find this thread is very substantial. So is it Kimishino, when you're doing the bracelets? I find this thread to be, I've got tons of it basically, and I just find this to be very good for this. But it's a bugger to thread. I should have done this beforehand, but never mind. Right, is it in? Yes, threaded. And what I do is I keep the spool in this little plastic bag and just close it all the way across, and it just keeps it from rolling away, and it just makes it a lot easier to use. So you need a good length, and let's just come in here. You see that? I'm just coming in there. It's right at the edge, and then do exactly the same on this side, like so. And then you just, I tend to do it, I don't know, it's about maybe 1/2 inch, and it's just a stitch like that. And then again on this side, and as I said previously, I don't do this up tight at this point. I want to be able to maneuver it about when I have got all the way across, to make sure the position is as good as it's going to get. I think the thing I found, especially at the start, is that I would take forever trying to maneuver it to get it straight, and I got to the place where I was like, you know what, so long as it's good enough, so long as I can live with it, so what if it's a little bit skew-whiff? It's in my, I mean, if it was a gift, I'd obviously spend a hell of a lot more time, but so long as I'm happy looking at it, then that's all that matters. Right, so you can have a massive tail to start with, but I find it just gets tangled up. So what that means is that unfortunately every now and then you do have to stop to get a bit more thread length for you to play with. But when it's this size, it doesn't really, it only takes, well, as you can see, it only took a few seconds then to get a bit more thread. When you're doing a massive big one, it can sometimes be a bit of a nightmare, but you just have to be patient. Okay, so here we go. So like I said, some people who do this leave a lot more space here so they don't have to do as many passes, but I don't know, this is what I do and it just works for me. And I didn't get myself enough then. It was a bit silly of me, I should have pulled out a lot more there, but we're nearly at the end, so it's not too bad now. Just, as I say, it's just so easy doing it in this bag. It keeps the thread from rolling all over the shop. Oh, this is what annoys me, when you get the little like twists up on itself. It's so annoying. There we go. As I said, once you get into doing this, once you've done it a few times, it really doesn't take that long. You've just got to try not to take half an hour fiddling about with it, getting it straight, because sometimes I find as well, if it's a oh, that's really got an tangled up there, bugger. Yeah, there we go. If it's a Ada, it's really easy to get it straight because it's very easy to just follow the fabric and, you know, follow the holes in the fabric and get it straight very easily. And it's quite a sturdy fabric, so it's, you know, it's easy. But when you're using linen like this, especially one that's been hand dyed, it's all over the shop and it's not even to start off with. So sometimes it can be an impossible task to get it straight, even when you've got, like mine, you've got the straight line of stitches as a guide, because the fabric itself isn't really straight. It's sometimes you just have to get it as good as you can and just leave it, or else you'll find yourself there like 2 days later still trying to make minuscule adjustments that never work. So let's get to the end of here. Can you still see what I'm doing? Yes, you can there. So we are almost done on this length. Am I going to be able to get to the end with this thread? Oh no, I just need a little bit more. Oh, that's a bit of a bugger. Let's just quickly do this. It's so annoying that I didn't get to the end there. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Oh, this doesn't take. Thankfully this is a nice short one. This would be so funny if I turn it over now and it's wrong again. Well, maybe no, it's the right. I just had to look then because I literally couldn't have taken if it was the wrong one as well. Right, sorry, I'm just checking my emails as well while I'm here to make sure nobody from work is screaming at me. Okay, almost. Oh, and the needle's come undone. Excuse me. Oh, that was easy. And there. And we just take this down to here, and so I end it. Let me just move this slightly. So I just take it up here and just do a few little knots like that, just to make sure it's nice and secure. And there we go. And then just pull it through. And let me just cut that. So there we go. That took that's 10 minutes on here. So now we just need to make our adjustments. So you can see the red line there. We're pretty much on it. So I just need to position it more or less on the edge here. see now. See what I mean? You can just be pulling here and pulling there, and it'll think it's straight there, and then it pulls it out there. So now we're out here, and let me just push this that way. But this is where keeping it loose on the back initially, not too loose, but keeping it loose enough that you can make easy adjustments, just helps. Okay, so that's positioned right there. So let's just make sure it's positioned right at the bottom here. Let's get the tape measure out. So that's 3. And that's 3. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten it up. Now remember, we've still got to adjust it that way, so that doesn't need to be perfect yet. I just want this to be. Okay, so to tighten it up, you are just literally pulling it. Now you don't want it incredibly tight that it's going to bend the board that you've got it on. I've made that mistake. I was like pulling this away for dear life, and it ended up warping the board it was on. So just keep an eye on for that. You know, it doesn't need to be ultra tight. It just needs to be tight enough that everything looks nice and straight, and there's no creases or there's no loose fabric on the front. So I am. And then again, thankfully this is a smaller one, so it doesn't take as long. And then we're at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is just, pardon me, is just very quickly take a little clip here and clip this down so we can see how we're looking at the front. There we go. So there we go. So that is looking nice. There's a little kink there that is kind of annoying, but I think that'll come out. It's just there, but I think that will come out when we tighten it again and when we do the side. So let's just check this again. So as you can see, we've got our red line at the bottom there, and it's 3, 3. I think we need to call that let's see now. I'm going to tighten this now a little bit more, and then I'm going to pull this off. Now somebody else out there may not be able to live with that and may spend the next however long getting that nice and straight, and you know what, all power to them. But I just don't have the patience. Now it may be when I've been doing this for years and years and I've got some really intricate ones, you know, really fancy ones that you really want to get spot on and perfect, like the ones that I've given my mum and things like that. I would agonise for God knows how long to get it straight. Then yep, take that time. But for these ones, I'm like, they're not gifts, they're just going to be here in my office. I am happy for it to be, you know, enjoyable. I've enjoyed the stitching of it, I am enjoying the end result, and I don't know where I put the needle. Ah, there it is. It's always the way. I always try and tell myself, if you're going to put the needle down somewhere, put it somewhere where you'll bloody find it. But I always end up losing it. Let me just get rid of this thing there. And then again, we'll just end this here. And there is that done. Again, you don't want to pull this too tight as well, because you don't want it to tear at the corner here, or you don't want to expose the board beneath, which can happen if you are not careful. Can you see what I'm doing there? Yeah, so I'm just dyeing this off. Ugh, what are all these emails? Nope, nothing to do with me, that's fine. And then let's just pull that through. So that is this done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do that way. I'm not going to force you to watch that, but I will come back to you when I have finished it. Okay, see you soon. Okay, I'm nearly at the end now. It didn't take me long at all. But I was just thinking as I was doing this, is I've seen tutorials done by people like Chelsea and Priscilla, I think it's The Real Housewives, where they glue it down, and I did wonder why I didn't do that, and I think it's because the one time I attempted it is because it went so disastrously wrong that I never tried it again. Got glue everywhere. It wasn't straight, and I kept trying to adjust it, and it was just making it more, and it was just making the whole situation worse. So I just figured that doing it this way with the lacing technique, it's a lot more easier. It's a lot easier. Oh my God, my English out the window. It's a lot easier to make adjustments and fix if you do something catastrophically stupid, as happened in one of my previous clips, where it was totally wrong. But here we go, we're at the end. Oops, caught that. Let me just put that under there. This has taken me absolutely no time whatsoever. Okay, so let us have a look, shall we? So there we go. We now just need to do a little bit of adjusting. Again, it's not that tight, so adjusting is easy. And what we're going off this time is this side here. And you know what? I think that's looking, it's just that little bit there, that is looking, I think, quite good. Let's bring this up and see how it matches. Oh yes, look at that. Well, I am happy with that. I'm going to tighten that up. Well, this worked out. This worked out quite well. So, now my issue is I don't want to waste all of this, because I vastly overestimated how much I would need this time. After last time, me not having enough, I just pulled a massive long piece of string this time. So let me just end this. Again, it's so much easier doing it this way. Let's just do a couple of knots. Nope, still nothing for me. I don't know if you find this, but when you're at work and you find yourself CC'd into so many emails that are actually nothing to do with you. It's just everybody seems to think you want to be kept updated. But no matter how many times you say, can you not include me in these emails, it's just like, so right, I'm going to put this needle away before I lose it. And now let us tighten this up. So just as I did before, I'm just going to do 2 rounds of tightening. I'm going to tighten it fairly tight this time, but it's not going to be the final go, because I've got all this extra as well that I'm wanting to get rid of. So let's do this. Well, yeah, so that's why I don't glue it down anyway, because it would just be disastrous. I glue the material down on the backing boards because, you know, that's easy peasy. There's no stakes in that. But come on, there we go. But on this, that would just give me too much of a heart attack. So I lace it because it's just so much more forgiving. Takes longer. Don't get me wrong, it does take longer. But for me, this just works better. If I was doing it on oh god, another bloody knot. If I was doing it on Ada, I may have more confidence to do it with glue, because again, that's a lot easier to position. But I'm not doing it. This is on, oh sorry guys, sorry, just knocked the camera. This is on the unforgiving lace. I should have done this the other way around actually. And okay, so this is the first go for tightening it. Let's just very quickly pin that there. I'm just pinning this string there. And let me just, oh no, that's not actually pinned there. Let me cut this, so this is now out of the way. And yep, I am happy with that. Yes, that for me, that is. Now you see, the thing is as well, that I don't think that's going to, I don't think that is going to get any better, if I'm honest with you. If in a couple of years time I want to redo this, I can very easily redo it, because again, it's just laced. And although this will be stuck onto the backboard, I have stuck these using Eileen's tacky, is it? Let's see what it is. Using this original tacky glue, I have taken them off the backboard with no damage whatsoever to this. I've done that on my autumn and October for my Cricut collection ones, because I wanted to redo them, and it worked out fine. I just took them off and put them on new backing, and I was able to unlace them and relace and blah blah blah, and no damage whatsoever to the actual stitching piece. So that's another reason why I lace, because it is reversible. And so in years to come, when I decide that I am not happy with this, then I can just redo it. And there we go. So now I am doing the proper tightening on here. Oh, what happened there? Needs to go down there. Any emails yet? Nope, no emails yet. Okay, so that's that. Oh, hang on. Nope, that's nothing. Okay, so There we go. Let's put the needle on. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. This is me not concentrating. I put the needle away when I still need it. I just wanted to do this now while it was nice light, so I didn't have to do it tonight. And it's so much easier to do this in daylight than it is in artificial light. So let's just tie these knots. There's one. So this has taken me not even half an hour, and that's with faffing about. So once you get used to doing them, they are pretty easy. And let me move that out of the way. So now we have the 3 of them. I don't think I'm going to get all of these in here, but there's those 2. So there's that. And then we have the 3rd one there. So there we go. That's them all stitched up and ready for their backing. So the backing is this, but not this brown. It's actually this glorious material here. I'm going to put this on some thick cardstock, and that's going to be glued on the back. So that is the next stage of this journey. So that should be nice and fun. So I will speak to you soon. Bye. Okay, I just had to come back because I've realised something, and it's one of these things where you have to make a decision as to whether or not it's something you can live with or something you can't live with. And I've decided it's something I can live with because I hadn't even noticed, so that says how much I can live with it. But again, in 6 months' time, if I decide I can't live with it, I'll just reverse all of this and redo it. But I've only gone and bloody well forgot to put that back stitch in this window pane. Do you know what? I don't care. This middle one, all the back stitch was done on it, and this is the real glory one, this one. So I can very happily live with that. I'm not bothered. I did the French knots, French knot in the bell there. You can't see that French knot in the bell there. I did some, actually. I put a little bit of a toile in this moon. So this is just a straight DMC, and they call it Moon Glow. But what I did 2 strands of the DMC and 1 strand of just and a toile that matched it. And you can't, I don't think you can see it very well in this, but there is just a little bit of the glitter in there that makes it really nice. So I am happy with that. Yes, I missed the back stitch there, but it wouldn't be a Catherine piece if there wasn't something missing. So I think really I should say that this is actually my you know, this is how I do it. I always, you know, miss something out there because I wouldn't want it to be too perfect, would I? But no, I am, other than that, I am very happy with that. So I can now carry on with gluing up the back, and I will bring you in for that instalment. With help from my cat, Sasha, out the way, I am now going to stick the material on these this card. So I'm not using foam board for the backing, I'm using card. Thank you, Kat, for holding that down. Now I have done one already. It's not very neat because this is me, but it's glued down. So that's 1 down, 2 more to go. Just, yeah, there we go. 1 down and 2 more to go. And then we can start constructing this bad boy. I don't really think you need to see me glue down. I'm just literally folding these over like a toy and using Eileen's tacky glue. So I will be back with you when I have glued the 2 remaining panels. Yes, and again, Sasha says hello. I have glued all the material down now. It's a bit of a trauma, you wouldn't think it would be, but I've chosen material that's actually, bear with me, quite thick, so it doesn't make it the easiest to get neat edges. So what may end up happening on this, oh, here's the cat. When I have assembled all of this, I may need to put some cording across the top of it to disguise a number of mistakes, but that's a future me issue. The thing I need to decide now, and this is the thing that's given me the biggest headache, is what I'm going to be connecting all of these up with. So as a flat fold, obviously you need some material to go in between each thing so it sticks them together, and you can fold it, and you know what I mean. So let me, bear with me. So we're talking about the thing at the top here that, it's a flat fold, and it's holding the 2 sides together. Now, if you're doing a flat fold like this, that's quite easy. It's just how you do. You just put some extra material on here and blah, 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 blah. But it's not quite the same when you're doing a tri-fold like this. So I've got to make the decision as to whether or not to use this in, have 3 little spots going up, or have a solid piece. So it'll become clear once I've done it, but I still need to make that decision. So I'm going to wait for all of this glue to dry, and then I will make my mind up, and then you'll be able to see what it is I have decided to do. Okay, see you in a bit. I have decided to do all the gluing one panel at a time, and I'll leave this overnight to stick, and then I'll do the next one tomorrow. So I have the baseboard on. Obviously, this is the stitched piece. I have my little connectors on here. I have decided to go with this. So I'm going to leave this overnight now. I'm just going to put some heavy, I've got some big books I'm going to put on top of here, and then I'll put my sewing machine and stuff on top of there, just to, my cat possibly as well, just to stick this down. So yeah, we're almost there. This is now glued on here, and these are my 3 connectors here. Hecky thump, I am definitely going to have to do some cording to run around here to cover up all the sins here, but that's fine. Helen D and Vorna Pfeiffer have great videos on how to do cording using DMC thread. Sorry. So don't stand on it. So what I'm now going to do is glue one side down. Excuse me, I'm going to glue one side down, leave that tonight, and then I'll glue the other side tomorrow. Yeah, and then the main part will be done, and then I'll see, then I need to choose which colours I'm going to do for the cording, and then we can take it from there. But we're almost there. The finish line is within sight. We're all glued up now, so I'm going to stick that on, put something heavy on it, and wait until tomorrow. And we have a freestanding flat fold. Is it perfect? No. Is it perfectly positioned at this moment in time? No, because the cat has just been very determined to knock it over. Oh, and she's back again. Yep, there we go. But it's done, and so now I have to do the cording to go along at the top. I have selected some I have selected some contrasting DMCs, but it's reached that dreaded point where I have to make some kind of independent colour decision, and we all know how rubbish I am at that. So I now need to attempt to make the decision on what I'm going to do. So this is going to be what is this cat doing? This is going to be hours of agonising over this. But let me show you. I can properly, excuse the mess, fold it like so. I had to give enough room with these, so that's what they look like, by the way, to be able to fold it, but it does fold, and that nice velvety backing. But yeah, 'tis done. So I could lay it flat like that and stick it on the wall, to be honest, flat, if I decided to do that. I'm kind of chuffed at that, given my limited skill set and, let's be honest, patience at this kind of thing. Quite happy at that. But I do definitely need to do the cording across the top because I need to hide a multiple of sins. So I will come back when I have decided what colour thread I'm using. Actually, while it's lying down flat. While it's lying down flat like that. These are some of the options. But so it'll be a lighter colour and a darker colour. But I don't know yet. I don't know whether or not to pick out one of these. Nice, maybe do that combo. But a DMC, actually, as I'm saying it, that might be a nice combo. Because that would then also pick up. Okay. Now these are using variegated threads. I might have a go at the closest DMC combinations and see what that would look like across the top. I maybe go away from blue. Okay, that is something to consider. Now I've just made it twice as hard for myself to pick the colours, but hey, there we go. Okay, see you in a bit. Hello, Poochie. Oh, Poochie is very tired. She's been in doggy daycare today. Haven't you, sweetheart? Okay, so I have made my mind up. I spent the last 15 minutes twirling various combos. Now, I don't want anything too flashy, so I vetoed my idea of the bright colours because the bright colours are on the piece itself. So I'm going for 926 and 930, and they just merge in nicely with it and give me the look I want. So now I need to buy a couple of each, because I can't use these because these are pre-cut. But then I am going to follow the Helen D tutorial and I'm going to get this bad boy done. So it's going to take me a day or so to go and buy them, but here we go. This is a good light we're in at the moment, actually. But there we go. That's that done. So my next bit of fun is going to be finishing off the cording. See you later. We're done. Holy, holy, holy crap, but we're done. So, there we go. Cording, all attached. Let's not get too close, but cording is all attached. It's standing. It's not perfect, but I don't care because I actually really, really, really like it. For a very first attempt at doing this, I am so very happy. Have I learnt a lot from doing it? You betcha. Sorry, I'm just going to move you. I need to pick up. Oh, You can see the mess in the rest of this room. Oh, just knock that over. But it's done. Oh, I'm so happy. This is not its permanent home, but it's its home for now, until I can figure out somewhere else to put it. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but this is one big thing. It really is big. If just for some perspective here, there's my hand. Oh, maybe not the best thing there, but yeah, there we go. It's well big. It's about, I think it's 10 inches high. So yeah, if I were to do this now, I would most definitely have chosen a higher count, maybe 36 or a 40. But, you know, when I started this, it was towards the start of my stitching career, and I did everything on 28 count then. But, you know, no matter what, I really like it because the coverage, is really nice. So I've used Anchor Black. I don't know if that made a huge difference, but 2 strands of Anchor Black and that coverage is really nice, and that it pops. Look how that red pops on there. It's so cool. So this is all done. I had to give you a quick rundown, I had to use a different colour on this, the Sleepy Hollow, than it says in the pattern, and that's because the actual colour merged completely with the colour of my fabric. So it I had to switch that out, but I think it looks really good. I have used the call for over-dyed threads in the trees and on the building here. As I previously mentioned, I forgot to put the back stitching in on the windows, but that's absolutely fine, don't care. Now, in this moon, what I decided to do, it doesn't really show up. Oh, sorry, focus is going a bit funny. There you go. In the moon there, although you can't really see in this light, there is actually a little bit of a toile mixed in there. So that's 2 strands of the call for plus 1 strand of, I think it was a toile, just to give it a little bit of a glitter. And you can actually really see it when the light's on it. And then over here, again, there's some over-dyed variegation in that tree. And this as well is, I think it's a week's. But yeah, the cording goes across the top there, and down the side there. And to be honest, I think I am now a little bit of an expert on this cording. Let me see if I can just find the box. Oh no, I can't. It would help if I put my glasses on so I can see where I'm going. No, I think it's Krynic. It's the Krynic corder. It's the one that Helen D and Vaughan Pfeiffer use. So when you first get it, if you've never done cording before and you're looking at it and you're wondering what the you-know-what, once you get used to it and once you get into it and you figure out how tight you need to wind things up, it's so easy. I'm so glad I decided to do it, because it does hide a multiple of sins, although let's just say it took multiple attempts to figure out how tight to wind it to get it how I wanted it. But once I did that, I was very happy. And then so I measured across the top there, and for some bizarre reason then decided not to measure up and across, somehow assuming that I would need the same length on all 3 panels. So I did 3 lots based on that initial measurement, and of course it was too short, so then I had to do another 2 lots. So thankfully I'd bought extra skeins of the DMC I was using just in case, because it turned out that yes, just in case was required. But then I got that done, and then the next bit of drama was I had bought a mini hot glue gun from Hobbycraft, and you buy cheap and you get cheap, and it was a bunch of crap and it did not work. So we ended up having to use Eileen tacky glue, which is not the best. I got it done and it didn't cause too much of a mess, and thankfully it dries clear, so unless you're like really looking at it, you would never know. But it was a bit treacherous at times, let's just put it that way, but it's glued on now. I'm happy with it, and I think if I do decide to go the cording route again, I'll buy a proper hot glue gun, so I'll have a bit more control with that. Things that went wrong, however, are plentiful. I'm not going to lie, I think you saw a lot of them, but there are a couple of other things I'd either change, I'd do differently, or I'd do a lot more carefully. So the first thing is, underneath this, it's just the foam board. I didn't put any batting. Next time I would put batting on it so it looks a bit more cushiony. I'll do, if anything like this again, I'll put batting underneath the cross stitch pattern, so it, you know, it just, I think that would have looked a lot better. Next, I would have taken a wee bit more time with the cutting of those boards. I had thought I'd done a good job cutting the boards, but it turns out I didn't do the best job, so I'll take a little bit more care on that next time. Now, the material I used for the backing was too thick, really. It's curtain fabric. Now, this is fine for, if we just move this down a little bit. Nope, it's not there. Where did I put it? Oh, I don't know where it is. Oh no, it is there. Sorry, it's there. Now, that's fine for this kind of thing, but on something like this, the material I decided to use, it was just far too thick to get neat edges. Sorry, neat edges for when I was gluing it all down, and it just got very messy, and it's why the cording is really needed. So I would definitely use a thinner fabric next time, even though this is gorgeous, this fabric I used. Okay, what else? I maybe would have done my cording a bit thicker as well. That's 6 strands there, 3 of each colour, so I might have done that a bit thicker next time if I did this again. Not forgetting to do the bloody long stitch on the window. It's something I try not to do again. And as I said earlier, just using a higher count fabric, so it's not quite as massive. But saying all of that, the good that's come out of this is I've got a really lovely pattern, and oh, this is, see, you move it and this has come loose a bit. Let me just get that a bit better there. There we go. Sorry. I am a lot more proficient in lacing now, and I got a bit more confidence in my ability to get things straight, and I think doing that running stitch across the bottom that I showed you really helps. What else? I love the colour of the fabric. I think it just turned out so lovely. It's such a shame it doesn't always show up very well. I think that there, the way the light is on that, I think that's really accurate to the colour of it. So I'm really happy with the colour of that. And I'm happy for the fact that I've gotten quite good at cording now, because I was a bit, I'm not going to say scared, but I was a bit unsure about the cording, because my only other attempt at it had been presents for my 2 nieces, and it hadn't turned out quite as tight as I would have liked, and I was in a rush for them, so I didn't get a chance to redo it. But I'm really happy now with my cording capabilities, so thanks to Helen D for that. But anyway, it's done, it's dusted. I get to come in here now and enjoy it. I'll straighten it up in a minute, because I've adjusted one side and now completely messed up that side. But what I will show you, actually, let me show you this just so you've got it, and show you how it folds up very easily. Yeah, excuse the mess, excuse the mess. But there you go, all folds up very nicely. Excuse the sellotape. Actually, it's so it is easy to store away when you've finished with it, and it's all nicely protected. So yeah, so we are done. So this is that fabric. It's lovely to feel, but it was just a little bit too thick to get very neat at the corners there. Okay, I just accidentally cut myself off there, but I'm almost finished now anyway. Yeah, it was just a little bit too thick for me. Anywho, I'm going to let you go now because this has run on a lot longer than I thought it would. This has taken a week and a bit to do. A little bit, oh, you can see the cording actually rather nicely in this light. Yeah, this has took just over a week to do. There was like I had envisaged at the start of this, there was a lot of swearing. Oh, the focus has gone out. Oh, this phone sometimes. Yeah. No, I don't think the focus is going to improve on that. Focus enhancer off. There we go. That's better. Sorry. There was a lot of swearing. There was a lot of banging your head against the wall. There was a lot of wanting to throw this out of a window, but I'm glad I persevered and I have my finished product. So I will leave it there. I will say adieu to you all and happy stitching, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.